Your savings account is lying to you. It shows you a number going up every month. But that number is worth less today than it was last year, and the year before that. This is what 40 years of playing it safe actually costs you. This is Jake. He's 25 years old. He just landed his first real job, and for the first time in his life, he has money left over at the end of the month. $500. Every single month. He does what everyone tells him to do. He opens a savings account. He sets up an automatic transfer. He watches the balance go up. He feels responsible. He feels smart. He feels safe. His parents are proud. His friends think he's being mature. His bank sends him a little notification every month showing his balance growing. Everything feels right. Jake has no idea that something is quietly stealing from him. Not a person, not a scam. Something far more invisible than that. Inflation. The silent thief that nobody talks about at the dinner table. Every single year, the dollar in Jake's savings account buys a little less than it did the year before. Gas, groceries, rent, everything costs more. His balance goes up. His purchasing power goes down. He can't see it happening. That's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Here is what inflation actually does. In 2025, $500 buys a full cart of groceries, a tank of gas, and still has money left over. In 2035, that same $500 buys noticeably less. By 2045, it buys significantly less again. The number in Jake's account keeps climbing, but the real value of that number is shrinking every single year. His savings account is paying him 1.5% interest. Inflation is running at around 3%. Jake is losing ground every month, and his bank statement makes it look like he's winning. 5 years pass. Jake is 30. His savings account has $83,000 in it. He is genuinely proud of this number. He should be. Saving is hard, and he did it. But a coworker mentioned something at lunch one day. Index funds. The S&P 500. Historical average returns of 10% a year over the long term. Jake goes home that night and types it into a calculator. He types in $500 a month. He types in 10% annual returns. He types in 40 years starting from age 25. The number that comes back makes him stare at the screen for a very long time. $2,873,000. From the same $500 a month he has been putting into his savings account. The same amount. A completely different outcome. He types it again to make sure he didn't misread it. Same number. $2,873,000. Then he types in his savings account numbers. $500 a month. 1.5% interest. 40 years. $346,000. He sits back in his chair. He puts his hands on the table. He looks at the ceiling. The difference between those two numbers is $2,527,000. Not because he made a wrong decision. Not because he did something bad. Because nobody told him there was a better option. Because the savings account felt safe. Because going up felt like winning. Jake is 30 years old. He has been putting money away for 5 years. He has done everything right by every conventional measure. And he is $2.5 million behind where he could have been. Not because of bad luck. Not because of low income. Because of one single thing. Where the money was sitting. He makes a decision that night. He opens a brokerage account. He sets up an automatic index fund investment. $500 a month. Same amount. Same discipline. Different destination. He doesn't touch the savings account money. He leaves it there as his emergency fund. But every new dollar from here goes into the market. He is 30 years old. He still has 35 years until retirement. The math still works. It just works a little less spectacularly than it would have at 25. The first year in the market is uncomfortable. Jake watches his balance go up and down in ways his savings account never did. In savings, the line always went up. In investing, the line breathes. It rises. It dips. It rises again. His stomach drops every time the market has a bad week. He checks it too often. He reads too many headlines. He almost moves it back to savings twice. He doesn't. He stays in. He keeps the automatic transfer running every single month regardless of what the market is doing. By 35, his investment account has grown to $94,000. His savings account still has the original money sitting there. He hasn't touched it. He won't. But the contrast is already visible. The savings account is flat and safe. The investment account is volatile and growing. Another market crash. Jake is 38. His investment portfolio drops 20% in 6 weeks. On paper, he loses $32,000. He calls his dad. His dad tells him to move it to savings. At least in savings, you know what you have. Jake almost does it. Instead, he opens a compound interest calculator and runs the numbers one more time. He sees what staying in is worth versus what getting out costs. He keeps the automatic investment running. He stops checking it every day. He finds that not looking is easier than watching. By 40, Jake's investment account crosses $150,000. His savings account has earned him just over $12,000 in interest across 15 years. His investment account has earned him over $60,000 in gains in just 10 years. Same monthly contribution. The gap is already enormous, and he is only halfway through the story. Jake is 43. He tells his younger cousin to open an index fund instead of a savings account. His cousin asks if it's safe. Jake thinks about how to answer that. He says, depend what you mean by safe. Safe from market swings? No. Safe from losing your purchasing power every single year while your bank tells you you're winning? Yes. His cousin opens an investment account that week. Jake feels like he paid something forward. At 45, Jake's portfolio crosses $200,000. He runs the projection again. He does this every few years just to see the number. At his current trajectory and at 10% average returns, he is on track for just under $1,200,000 at 65. Not the $2.8 million he would have had starting at 25. But extraordinary compared to the $346,000 his savings account path would have delivered. Jake is 50. His portfolio is at $380,000. Compound interest is doing more work now than his monthly contributions are. The money is making money. Not because Jake is special. Not because he got lucky with a stock pick. Because he moved his money from a place where it slowly shrank to a place where it compounded over time. That single decision at 30 years old is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in retirement. Another downer. Jake is 53. He has been through this before. Twice. He doesn't call anyone. He doesn't read the headlines. He checks his allocation once, decides he doesn't need to change anything, and closes the app. The automatic transfer runs that month. It ran last month. It will run next month. The crash doesn't change the plan. The plan outlasts the crash. Jake is 55. His portfolio is at $540,000. He thinks about his savings account from his 20s. The balance that felt so safe. The number that went up every month while inflation quietly took a percentage of its value every year. He is grateful for the moment at 30 when he finally understood what was actually happening. He wishes he had understood it at 25. He wishes someone had told him. At 58, Jake's portfolio crosses $700,000. He can see retirement from here, not as a vague someday concept, but as an actual specific plan with a number attached to it. He adjusts his contributions slightly, talks to a financial advisor, and stays the course. Nothing dramatic, just the same boring automatic investment he has been running for 28 years. Jake is 62. His portfolio is at $920,000. 3 years left. He doesn't get aggressive. He doesn't try to time the market to squeeze out extra gains before he retires. He just keeps doing what he has always done since he was 30 years old. He lets the plan run. Jake is 65. He retires. He opens his investment app one last time as an employee. He looks at the balance. $1,140,000 from $500 a month, starting at 30 after 5 years in a savings account. 35 years of staying in the market through every crash, every headline, every moment of doubt. $1,140,000. Now here is the number that should make you put down your phone and think. If Jake had started his index fund investment at 25 instead of 30, the same $500 a month just 5 years earlier, his balance at 65 would have been $2,873,000. The difference between starting at 25 and starting at 30 is $1,733,000. 5 years, $733,000. And if Jake had never switched at all, if he had left every dollar in that savings account from 25 to 65, his balance would have been $346,000. His savings account would have cost him $794,000 compared to what he actually retired with, and $2.5 million compared to where he could have been. Same person, same income, same $500 a month. 3 completely different outcomes depending on one single variable, where the money was sitting. Your savings account is not keeping your money safe. It is keeping your money still. And in a world where everything gets more expensive every year, still is not the same as safe. The best time to move your money was when you were 25. The second best time is right now. Don't let another year go by watching a number go up while the value behind it quietly disappears.